What is going on, everybody? You are back on another edition of Ballin Over Beers, a fantasy and betting show. This is the Week 7 Bets Show. I am Justin Dueppengiesser, and I am joined, as always, by my guys, James Fitch and AK Howe. AK, you're a known Bengals fan. You come in this show, and you're wearing a Raiders hat. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm finally recovered from the Vegas trip. I threw out my Golden Knights hat one night and had to buy a new Raiders hat and celebrating a 5-0 victory. So it's been an interesting 2 weeks for me.
Threw his hat away instead of just, taking it off his head and putting it in his pocket. Just throws it away. James, good to see that you have your hat, your normal Bills hat on. What's up, buddy?
Haven't lost it. Not too much, man. Running on fumes over here.
Yeah, dad life.
Dad life.
Hashtag dad life. Yeah, I hear you. I don't, because I don't have any kids.
Living a very, very different lifestyle than AK right now.
Yeah. I would say there's like one end of the spectrum, and then there's the other, and you guys are not even close.
Both exhausted for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But all right, let's get into this, huh? We are coming off of a week 6, pretty decent weeks for all of us. AK obviously on fire with the 5-0 for the week. So before we get into that, though, let's just talk about week 6. Any big takeaways or anything like that, James, that you saw from week 6, betting wise, football wise in general, or anything? Is Deshaun Watson going to get traded actually with all these rumors going on today?
I think the books got killed in week 6. A lot of the favorites covered, especially the big favorites. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of those in my picks, but I think they got bailed out by the Titans covering on Monday night. And as far as Deshaun Watson, I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think there's probably conversations, which is where a lot of those rumors are coming from. But I've always kind of taken the position of, I just think I don't know. I just think the circumstances are too weird. There's a lot of risk right now. Yeah. And I don't know that it's going to happen.
Well, that's kind of my thought too, AK, is that how do you trade for somebody when you don't even know what his legal situation? What if tomorrow all of a sudden all these charges are found and he's suspended from the NFL forever, or he goes to jail? Like, how do you make a trade? Like, what would you make a trade if you're a GM, like without knowing for certainty that he's definitely going to be playing?
I think they have probably some of the best private investigators and legal teams working for them.
Sure.
So if they're making the trade, you've got to assume they've done a lot of due diligence and feel like he's either going to settle or do 0-0 time and kind of know what the suspension might be, whether it's going to be, a 4 or 8 game. But you also got to figure, how old is Watson? 26, something like that, right?
I'm not even sure. Not that old.
So, I mean,
28.
If you can trade for him and he's only suspended for 8 games next year, like, you're only missing 8 games out of the next 12 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like with this year, it's been so bizarre because he's not even like on the commissioner's exempt list. He's not on any of that stuff. So
the NFL did say
get traded and play right away, right?
Yes, because the NFL did come out and say that they're done like suspending players until legal actions are resolved, because so many players were getting like suspended and then found out to be the woman made something up or something like that. Look at
charges are dropped, anything like that.
Right. The Alabama Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
His wife, and then it came out that she made it all up. He was cut by the 49ers and basically ended his career. And the NFL suspended him, and then, so they're trying to avoid that kind of stuff.
Which, I mean, makes sense. You would like to have the legal stuff, take action before you take any, but man, that is tough in the public eye to have somebody who is alleged to be basically a serial raper, playing on a day-to-day basis, which, innocent till proven guilty, I guess. But man, in the public eye, it definitely isn't that way, unfortunately. That's just, it'll be wild to see how this because the whole story from the beginning is just crazy. And now there's the rumors are Could be Miami, could be Denver, could be a three-way trade with Washington involved. So I don't know. I don't think any of it happens. I'm on your side with that, James. I don't see anything happening. There's just too many moving parts and too many missing pieces right now for it to happen.
I think as we know more in the offseason free agency and then like approaching the draft next year is my guess, and when we'll potentially see more action on that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess just kind of switch gears. The other big news coming out of week 6 is just the amount of injuries and the amount of buys. It just seems like there's running back injuries galore, which, from a betting standpoint, how much does a running back actually move the needle for these teams? I guess maybe if it's, Derrick Henry or somebody like that, where it's a vital piece of your offense. Other than that, I don't know, but let's recap the bets.
Before we go into that,
Yeah.
what did you think of PFF's running back rankings without Derrick Henry in the top 10?
PFF is just hot garbage. They're just hot garbage. It's unbelievable. It just and there's some of the stuff they do is good. Like some of their data collection stuff, it makes sense. Like there's, cut and dry ways of being able to tell certain things for what they come out with. But then they come out with their grades. And like the guy, Derrick Henry not being in the top 10. And then they come out with the grades saying that so far on the year that Carson Wentz is graded above Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. And then you go look at EPA, QBR, touchdowns thrown, completion percentage, passer rating, your eyeballs watching the games, and they're ahead of him in all of those things. Yet Carson Wentz has a higher grading in BFF. That just makes no sense whatsoever. Like it blows my mind. And to me, it's something where, yes, it can be, again, a good tool for certain things, but man, if you're taking that for like hardcore, like fantasy advice, betting advice, like football analysis, you might want to reevaluate your process, because it's just pretty wild to me.
Yes, I agree with everything you said.
All right, let's recap these bets. AK, you're hot fire, 5-0. Hit it with us. What did you do in week 6?
Yeah, so I went 5-0 last week. I had, I kind of took the teams that I thought were the better teams overall. Arizona was getting points versus Cleveland, which we're Arizona podcast, so I had to take that.
Obviously.
Dallas is covering every week. It was a crazy finish, but they covered. The Rams are substantially better than the Giants. They're terrible. The Bengals are probably the most improved team from last year, and the Lions somehow got worse, so won that one. And Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears and has a great book club, so you got to bet Green Bay.
Now, with the book club, is that a guarantee you have to just bet the Packers every week, or how does that work?
So I'm going by if I have never read the book before, I'm betting them. So this week, I've read the book before, so it's not a guaranteed I'm betting them. You're going to have to listen a little bit more to figure that out.
I like it. AK is now, with that 6-point performance, he is still atop the points for our competition between the three of us. He has 22.5 points, coming in with the hot week. So, James, why don't you go ahead and recap your week 6?
Yeah, I went 3-2. I got wins with the Raiders. I just thought that was a good, rally around the new coach game. I just think the Broncos aren't very good, so getting the points there was an easy bet for me. Arizona, I think they're better without Cliff Kingsbury, and they proved that they don't need him calling plays. So let's keep him on the COVID list if we can. I think we lucked out with that Cowboys game. And we all hit that one, so that was fun. And then losses with the Chargers, I'm just really surprised with their performance against the Ravens. They just kind of shit the bed. And then the Bills, I don't even know what to say about that. It was just so disappointing.
Have you recovered emotionally from that Bills loss?
Yeah, I'm fine. There's a lot of season left. It's such a disappointing game to lose, and the way they lost it. Their defense, I don't know what happened to their defense in that game, and their red zone offense was just so bad. You can't kick field goals and expect to continue to win games, and that's what they did, and they lost.
Do you think that it was the right call to go for it on 4th?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. I didn't question that at all. I mean, there are stats that show Josh Allen was like 14 of 50, 14 of 15, like running that play before the play on Monday night. And it was just unfortunate that he slipped. There are replays that show that he should have actually ran to the other side. There was more of a bubble for him to really sneak through on the right side versus the left side. And Dawkins just got blown up. I've never seen a left tackle get blown up so bad on a QB sneak like he did. And that didn't help. I mean, it was a phenomenal play by the Titans defense. You have to give them all the credit in the world.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Dawkins got rocked.
They showed that on 14 of the 15, Allen went left. So I wonder if the Titans had that scouted and just, I mean, if you watch the replay, they all crashed straight to that spot and left the right side wide open. So could be something that Allen just has to work on going forward, mix it up a little bit.
Got to take tips from Brady, best ever sneaker to live. Dude's unreal.
He's athletic. That's why, man.
Well, yeah, obviously that's what he does. Athletes make plays. All right, I went 3-2 as well. Everybody, we're Cardinals podcast. Got that one. Green Bay -4. Like AK said, Aaron Rodgers calling out the whole city of Chicago, saying he owns them, is hysterical. I loved it. Cowboys -3, got that. And like you, James, I couldn't believe the Chargers just getting crushed by Baltimore the way they did. And then Carolina, I lost that when they were +1 against Minnesota. I thought that was going to be a Carolina game, and obviously it went in overtime, so there was a chance. There was a chance there, but they couldn't get the job done. Do you think? Have you ever seen in I guess as of recent? Can you remember another player like Trayvon Diggs that is making plays like he is with the amount of interceptions and turnovers? And like, you know, against the Patriots, he has the pick 6, and then he gives up the double move for the touchdown. But like, he's got 8 interceptions or 7 interceptions or whatever it is in 6 games. I don't think I can ever remember a defensive player like making that many plays to start the year.
Peanut Tillman had a stretch for the Bears a couple years ago where he had like maybe not that many, but it felt like every week he was getting an interception or a punch out. Like, I can't remember the year, but there was a stretch of Peanut Tillman where it was like 5 or 6 weeks where it was like ridiculous.
I feel like the Bears, there's another guy too. The Bears did something weird like that where like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, he had like a game-winning pick 6 in overtime. I forget who it was, but the Bears defensive backs are like the guys that are like on those lists of like just weird. The defense has been so good for so long.
That's true.
Yeah, they had Devin Hester in their defense. That's how they won games.
That's true. They got freaking sexy Rexy Grossman to a Super Bowl playing defense and returning kicks. That's crazy. All right, let's talk about Week 7. This is a super interesting slate. A lot of buys, a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff to parse through. So we'll get right into it. AK, you're coming off the hot week, man. Why don't you give us your first game?
My first game, I'm actually going to go with the Bengals +6.5 versus the Ravens. I think that the Bengals' style of offense is slow but efficient, and it will slow the Ravens down. They have a good defense, and I just feel like a divisional game, Bengals have to win this to kind of show their relevance in the NFL. So I think they keep it at least a 3 or 4 point game, if not win outright.
Yeah, I'm actually on this game with you as well. And it's moved. It was 6. It's now 6.5, which I was pretty surprised about. The way that obviously Baltimore's a very good team, but the way Cincinnati's been playing, like they've proven that they're, I guess the biggest surprise is the way their defense has been playing, right? Everybody is kind of came into this year thinking, okay, the Bengals defense is going to be a sieve again, and it's not. It's actually pretty good. So 6.5 just seems like too much. A divisional game. I took Cincinnati in the points as well. So
yeah, Trey Hendrickson's been having a monster year so far for the Bengals.
Yeah, he was a nice signing in the offseason from the Saints. James, why don't you give us your first game?
Yeah, my first game, I'm going to go with the Eagles +3, catching 3 against the Raiders. I think, I talked about the Raiders kind of rallying around their coach last week. They got that win, but I think the Eagles getting points here is a good spot. We saw the Eagles come back and keep it close against Tampa Bay last week. I just think they match up really well here, and I think Hurts can get it done. So I think the Eagles can win this game.
I like it. I like this game. I do like, make sure you check the show out, but I do like some of the Eagles players on DraftKings for DFS as well. So, AK, your next pick.
I'm going to go with the Rams minus 14.5. It just dropped down a half a point on DraftKings, so I'm going to sneak that in there for me right now. But versus the Lions, I think the Rams are obviously a better team. They're 14.5 point favorite. And I just don't see how the Lions can keep it within 2 scores. So I like the Rams here.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it's like you open up, and there's a couple of games like this, right, in the 4 o'clock section where it's like, holy cow, that's a huge spread. But then you look at the teams, you're like you said, like how are the Lions going to score keep enough points to keep it within 2 scores? So I love the Rams on DFS again this week too, and make sure you check out the show again to check out to see what we talk about for that. But my next game is going to be the 49ers minus 4.5 over the Colts. This is a night game. I think that the Colts aren't a very good football team. I think that they're a little bit overrated. They've played a pretty soft schedule as of late. And I think the 49ers are pretty decent. Jimmy Garoppolo might be back. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's probably whatever. I don't know if it moves the needle at all, to be honest. He's more of just a distributor in that offense that has Deebo Samuel, Kittle, their run game, and all those guys. So give me the Niners minus 4.5. James, what about you?
I'm going to be on the opposite side of that game. I'm going to take the Colts plus 4.5. I think the Colts are starting to find their stride. They realize how much they should be getting Jonathan Taylor involved. I know PFF likes Carson Wentz. I don't think he's that great, but he hasn't been throwing as many interceptions this season, which I think is crucial for that team. So I'm just going to take the team with the points here in what I think could be a close game.
Yeah, I think it's fair. 2 of the last 3 wins were the Dolphins and the Texans, so that doesn't impress me, very much. But they did lose in overtime to the Ravens. They capped it with a 9 to the Titans, and then they lost to 3 to the Rams. So I guess their other losses are against, good football teams. So we'll see. This could be a close game. AKA next game.
I'm taking the Eagles plus 3 versus the Raiders. I think that Philadelphia is
Guy comes on the show, wears his Raiders hat, and then picks the Eagles against him. What sense does this make?
Well, I bet the Bears money line when I was in Vegas wearing the hat. So just because I wear a hat doesn't mean I'm taking you.
Fair enough. This strictly fashion for him.
Yeah, strictly fashion. I think Philly's going to come out and actually try to run the ball and get Miles Sanders involved. I just have kind of a feeling about that, but
he's actually going to get more than double-digit carries, which he's only had double-digit carries once this year.
So, I mean, I just like the Eagles plus the points. I don't think Vegas is that good. So that's just where I'm at.
Fair enough. All right. My next game is one of the probably worst picks I've ever made. So we're just gonna preface it with that, and I'm gonna take the Bears plus 12.5 against the Bucks. That's it. I don't really know why. I think that their defense is good enough to keep it close. Their secondaries is not great for Tampa Bay, so maybe Fields can sneak some long passes in to Darnell Mooney or Allen Robinson, and they can pressure Brady enough with their front 4. Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd are actually playing pretty well this year. The Bears defense is actually probably playing better than people realize because their offense is such a dumpster fire sometimes. But give me the Bears to keep it close for no reason at all.
I don't hate it. That's a lot of points.
I appreciate that. I needed a little boost because I picked it and I'm like, this is so dumb. We're gonna go on a show and tell people they're taking the freaking Bears over the Bucks.
Tampa Bay can be winning by 14, 17 points and basically have it feel like they've just been cruising the entire game. And then Chicago could kick a garbage time field goal, score a touchdown and cover. So I feel like at 12.5, you don't really ever feel like you're out of it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Dude, this is why I need you. This is just pump me up. I like it. Pump some air in my tires, baby. Let's get it. All right, James.
That being said, I did not pick that game. My next game, I'm going to go with the Saints minus 4.5 against Seattle. I think Seattle played really well last week to come back. I'm really surprised that they pushed that game to overtime, but I think they use a lot of energy doing that. I think the Saints defense is better than Pittsburgh's at this point. So I think the Saints defense can slow down that rushing attack. That's basically the only way Seattle was able to move the ball and get back in the game. I think the Saints can game plan for that. And I just think that this is a touchdown win by them. So I think they can cover that 4.5 easily.
Did you see the Seahawks practice report today by any chance for the injuries with their running backs? Because I know Alex Collins got banged up. I know Rashad Penny was potentially coming back from IR. I know Chris Carson is on IR. So their backfield's pretty interesting one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Well, the only good news with that many guys on IR is Russell Wilson doesn't have to run practice by himself anymore. He has a couple other guys he can do a fake scrimmage with.
He can go out there and run an actual 2-minute drill with everybody else that's on IR.
Yeah.
Did you hear about how jealous he was of Dawson Knox being able to throw with a broken hand?
Real football guy right there, Dawson Knox.
Yeah, he saw Dawson Knox do it, and he was asking Pete Carroll to get back in this week. Look, he could do it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
Do you see Dawson Knox said he didn't realize that throwing shot put in high school would have come back and helped him out in his pro career?
No, that's funny.
Yeah.
Did you see him trying to wave that play off too?
Yeah. And he said, no, I got it. Honestly, I picked Dawson Knox up on waivers on our fantasy thing, and he's been freaking lights out for me. He's been awesome this year.
He's been killing it in best ball, so thanks for that little tip there, James.
You're welcome. I have him on like almost every one of my teams.
Yeah, he was like round 17 because I hate drafting tight ends. And Moelle, I was doing the Knox and Cox connection with him and Moelle.
Knox and Cox.
Dawson Knox was on my list for our breakout show that we did way back when.
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember that. That's a good call. All right, where are we at? AK, your next game?
I'm going with your Chiefs over the Titans. It's only a 5.5 point spread. One of these weeks, the Chiefs are not going to turn the ball over 14 times. And with the Titans coming off a big Monday night win on a short week, I just feel it's kind of a trap game for them. And I feel Kansas City is going to win this by double digits.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it right out for the YouTube universe to hear that the Kansas City Chiefs are about to go on a run. So just let it be known. Just going to throw it out there for everybody that is going to see the show and have.
But not this week because you're not picking them.
No, they're going to win this week too. They're going to win this week too. I can't be a homer. I can't be like you taking the Bengals and the Raiders every week.
Yeah, I mean, why would you take the Chiefs when you can take the Bears? I mean,
exactly. All right, my next pick: Carolina -3 over the Giants. I seem to take Carolina every week and never get them right. So maybe this will be the week that I get it. They're playing the Giants, who aren't good. Barkley is going to be out again. It seems like their receivers are banged up. They didn't have Slayton or Kenny Galladay. I don't think didn't practice again today. Or Tony. It was Tony and Galladay. I don't think practiced again today. So they're banged up. They haven't been very good. Their O-line's not great. Carolina actually is one of the better pass rushing teams in the NFL. I like them to get a lot of pressure and cause some turnovers on old Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, and I'll take the Panthers. James, or who's up?
I'm also on.
Oh, James, you're up. Yeah.
I'm also on the Sex Panthers -3. They looked like garbage for most of the game last week, but impressive comeback at the end and unfortunate finish to that game. The Giants stink. We saw that last week against the Rams. 3 is not a lot of points to cover. I think that I would expect the Giants to play a little bit better this week, but I just think that the Panthers are. They've had a couple of off games. I don't think Darnold is really as bad as he's looked the last couple of weeks. Last week, they had a lot of drop balls. Robbie Anderson just seems like he's got his head in the sand, and I don't know what's going on there. But I think Robbie Anderson will have a big bounce back game this week, and I think the Panthers will cover this 3 points.
Team Sex Panther, let's get it.
Let's do it.
All right, AK, lock of the week, the money pick. What do you got?
I am going with Bill, and Mac Jones to destroy the Jets again for the second time this year. They beat them 25-6 the first time they played them, and I think the Jets have actually gotten worse since then, and the Jets have gotten better. I don't think that the Jets are going to be able to move the ball, and Bill Belichick just destroys rookie quarterbacks. So I feel a touchdown is pretty nice, pretty fair line, but I think the Patriots easily cover still.
I actually thought it was pretty a little short. Like I was expecting, I don't know, like 9.5 or something like that for that to be the line when it first came out, just because of what happened in the past and the way both teams have been playing, really. So I like that. My money pick is the Deshaun Watson list Miami Dolphins at +2.5 over AK's Atlanta Falcons. Sounds like Tua's going to be back. Not that I don't think that's a huge boost, but he should be healthy. They're still banged up at receiver a little bit. I think that they said that Parker was limited, but Will Fuller's still out. Jalen Waddle's still there. I just don't think the Falcons are very good. They are getting a little bit healthier, so I guess that is something to be nervous about. But I'm going to take the Dolphins, even though they seem to be in disarray, which, you know what, I actually feel worse about this Dolphins pick than I do about the Bears pick. Now that I'm talking about it, now that I'm talking my way through this. James, give us your lock.
Yeah, I'm going against you on this one.
Yeah, I figured.
I like Atlanta -2.5. But Miami played in London and they didn't get a bye, which I think is really, really strange. That's a brutal travel schedule.
Yeah.
I like this being under 3. Calvin Ridley's coming back. We don't really know what it was outside of personal reasons, right? Like it wasn't an injury or anything like that. We got Cordell Patterson, the offensive threat, Mike Davis, Hayden Hurst, Kyle Pitts. I just think that's an explosive offense there.
I think they're getting Russell Gage back too. I just saw.
Yeah,
so.
They're getting healthy. Really what this is it's a good spot for Atlanta. Like I said, I like the number under 3. Miami's coming back from London after losing in overtime. That's really the extent of my handicap there. I just like the number and I like the spot.
Sounds like a better reason than what I had for the Dolphins. All right. AK, why don't you just go through, recap it real quick, and we'll get out of here. We'll recap all of our picks and get out of here.
Bengals +6.5, Rams -14.5, Philly +3, KC -5.5, New England -7. And for a little bonus bet, I'm betting the under in the Browns Broncos game. I don't think either team's going to score 20 points, and we're getting ready for that typical Thursday night trash football.
The Browns are injured, very much so.
Yes.
James, recap us.
Eagles +3, Colts +4.5, Saints -4.5, Sex Panthers -3. Atlanta's my lock of the week at -2.5.
Cincinnati Bengals +6.5, San Fran -4.5, the Bears +12.5, Team Sex Panther -3, and the Dolphins with the worst pick of the week by me at +2.5 for the lock. We got to chase down AK here. He's been hot. So James, we got some ground to make up on. I think that you've made some good picks. Me, shaky at best. By the way, I'm not feeling very confident the more I talked about a couple of them, but we will see what happens. Fellas, any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
I just hope everyone survives bye apocalypse. 6 teams on bye. It sucks. I don't know why they do this, but
yeah, don't they come back next week and there's only like 2 teams on a bye?
Probably.
Yeah. Why would you do that? It makes no sense.
It makes it real fun for best ball.
Yeah. All right. You can find us on Twitter at Ballin Over. He's AK Howe at Kenny Truelove. We have James Fitch at Pitchy24, and I'm at JDiz1617. Make sure that you're smashing your like button on the way out. Give us in the comments what your favorite line is. Are you Team Sex Panther? Are you on the Dolphins with me? I need somebody to ride or die with on this one. And we appreciate everybody being here. Hit that subscribe button. We'll talk to you next time.